Hi, welcome to Midway Wool. Today I'm going to show you how to do couching. And all couching is taking a thread, putting it down, and then stitching it down. So this thread is not stitched down. You just lay it down and then you stitch over it. And I'm going to use a number 3 thread, which is a thicker thread, for the thread that I lay down, and then I'm going to couch it with a number 8 thread. For a number 3 thread, I like using a number 18 chenille needle. Has a nice big eye, and it's easy to thread a thicker thread, and that works well. And then for my number 8 thread that I'm going to use to stitch this couching thread or this lay down thread down, I'm going to be using a number 8 thread with a number 24 chenille needle. So you can use thread, you could use yarn, you could use any kind of a fiber as your lay down thread. I'm using a number 3 thread. So I'm going to come up, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to be working from right to left. I'm going to bring my thread up along this line on the right hand side, and then I'm going to take it down at the end of that line. So that's considered the thread that you're laying down. Now I'm going to take my number 8 thread and I'm going to stitch it down. So I'm going to come up on the bottom of that lay down thread. I'm going to go over the top of it and just stitch that down with a little whip stitch. You can have these stitches close together, you can have them a little farther apart, you could do 2 whip stitches together closely and then have a little bit of a space, but that's all it is. All you're doing is whip stitching a thicker thread down with a thinner thread. And it's fun to, instead of just doing a whip stitch, you can do kind of a scrolly stitch down. You could do bullion knots. This is done with a little pistol stitch over the top of it. This one I just went over the top with a closed fly. This is a herringbone holding the lay down thread down. And then these are just little X's that I use to couch down the thread. So there are lots of different ways that you can couch down your pieces. I just want to show you a little trick. When this is like a stem, and I'm going to couch my thread down next to it. So you want to make sure that your thread is going to be along the edge of this applique piece, but below the lay down thread. Then you come over the top of it and then come down below that thread. So I'm over the top of the lay down thread, coming down between the applique piece and the lay down thread. Now, sometimes you might, if you think you're right above that emerging thread, it will come at a little bit of an angle. So what I like to do is just make sure that your thread is straight down and that you're going to take your needle up right straight up from that emerging thread, and that will keep your whip stitch nice and straight. But it's fun. It's fun to couch around leaves or circles. It's also fun if you could take 2 large threads and you could make stems with it by couching down the stems. So anyway, this is couching. It's fun. You can be really creative with it and couch your items down with different stitches. But that's all it is having a thread that you lay down and you whip stitch or couch it down with another stitch. So that's how you do couching.